It's not a rat. It's not a mouse. It's not a mole. It's a vole. Because I've made a rat and I've made a mouse. I haven't made a mole, and I also haven't made a vole. Let's start with the vole. Maybe next I'll make a mole. Then I'll figure out the next thing that rhymes with vole, other than a mole. A dhole. It's a type of dog. Not much else. In this video, we're making a vole. I just tried to look up the difference between a mouse and a vole for quite a while, and there's nothing notable. A mouse is curious, skittish, and clever, and a vole is busy, blunt, and relentless. Mice adapt, voles impact. Okay, that is some AI cringe. Let's just make the bait. Got some legs marked out, got an ear marked out. Gonna get some detail going. Oops. That's gonna look good. Little legs, paint them pink or something. Nice extra little pop of detail. It's probably the most cliche artistic term you could ever use. A pop of something. I want the ears coming up just a little bit. Still pretty much against the body. Just right on the depth for those ear holes. Didn't want to go too deep. Didn't want them to look just like a hole. Nice. This is kind of, I don't know, I've been taking my time with this all day. As you do when you make lures in the winter. But I think it's going to turn out classy. We're going to have an ice spike tail coming off the back here. Nice and sleek. This will probably be something I wish I made a mold of, but I won't. I'll just make another wooden version. Every time I make a mold, I just don't use the mold. I have them. There's one for an Alaskan hooligan. Internal weight system. I've only ever used it once. On the bait for the video. 1/4 inch thick Lexan blade bait. Front half of the crank station. Extra thick crankbait. Way oversized. The 4-eyed glide bait. I could go on. I think I'm gonna stop. I don't know, man. I am a wooden bait kind of bait maker. And soft plastics. I mean, who doesn't fish with soft plastics? All right, let's move on. Just some tiny details left. Gave it a mustache, by the way. We're not gonna use the whole thing. I'll probably cut it off like right there. That'll be perfect for a tail. Stick it in that hole we just drilled with a bait keeper in there. Lead's hot. I made a video about using bismuth like this instead of lead like this. And after a bunch of examples of using bismuth in baits versus lead, the tiny bit more weight that you get per volume of lead versus bismuth is just so preferable. You have to use lead. You probably won't die. It'll be interesting to see what I die from, you know? A little bit of UV resin with the microspheres mixed in. I'm gonna try to do this as level as I can because there's details right around that. So when I try to carve this flat, I don't want to have to do too much. 1/16 inch bit there. Lip. Just glued that lip in. Goes right between those two arms. How adorable is that? It's like he's holding the lip. I went for, you know, the 90-degree straight up and down. It looks like it has a tiny bit of a tilt to it. That's fine, whatever. Line tie is gonna pin it in. Let's get those in. Oh, and I made, this is a bait keeper for a jig hook. Twisted some thread around the other end so there's more to grab onto when I glue it in. That's gonna go in here, just like that. So you can just stick the ice spike in, the tail's on. Nice and simple. Excuse me, I choked on a noodle earlier today. There's the rest of them. Going with a top hook, bottom and top. There wasn't enough space. This bait's pretty small for the correct size treble hooks that I want to do 2 of those on the bottom. Way too much hookage down there, they'll get tangled in each other. It might be better to have something off the top when the fish blow up on this thing. It'll be hanging down there by the tail. This one will be kind of, you know. Let's paint. Want to make sure I get this spar varnish in that back hole. I didn't put the bait keeper in that back hole yet, calling it a back hole and not actually what it is, because I don't want it to all clump up in there while it's drip drying. Neodymium magnet. Had to stack 3 on top of each other because I made the hole a little too deep. It's gonna get that top hook sitting perfectly. Might use a double hook on the top. That way there's 2 prongs exposed instead of just that one. Those points are like flush against the body right there. Starting with white. Viper brown, leaving the belly white. This is a strange brown. Hard to nail down how to describe. There's like pink in there maybe. A lot of very tan, kind of pink, still brown. Great brown. Let's complement some brown with some darker brown. Little self-serving echo chamber of brown. That's where I want to be. Darkened it up right there, as if that's like the knee joint of the leg going back right there. I don't know if this will be visible once the paint's done, but that was my thinking. Put some on the head, across the back too, a little bit on the rumpus there. Gave it a little bit more depth. Now I'm gonna try to not cover all that up when I brush fur on this. Might need some pink on the ears before I do that. So this is kind of strange. This is called intrinsic shade. And believe it or not, it gives off kind of a flesh vibe, even though it's like a lilac color. It's what I'm gonna put on the ears of this thing. I'm gonna paint fur in there pretty deep too. But this will just kind of be the, if you were to see through that fur at the flesh of the ear, that color. And I'll make that make more sense by spraying it on the nose too. Pink's gonna go over that, maybe magenta. It's gonna be like a bone color on the bottom, kind of cheek, where those whisker pokes are. I didn't want to match the ear to the legs and the feet and the nose. I kind of want to like make them their own thing. I'm changing up the colors. Okay. Infectious pink. It's not just straight pink. I think there's a little bit of tan in it. On the feet, not the whole legs, the feet. There is fur on the legs of a vole. Old bone, one of my favorite bone colors. From the Tin Gore Createx lineup. I use these colors so much in bait painting. Just right there. Makes a big difference visually, especially when I go back and poke those little whisker dots into the white. There's more contrast there for it. I think it's time to paint fur. First fur color, decay. Deep, deep, deep dark brown. Put some thinner in there. Want it like water. Brush is gonna suck some up. Just gotta imagine which direction is the fur laying. Right now I'm just establishing the direction. Once you get the lighter stuff, I'm going with skeleton bone for the lighter stuff. That'll give it all the depth and it'll look realistic. I made this lighter color a lot more translucent, so if I do happen to go over some dark stuff, it doesn't disappear it, just adds more depth. It's so deep. Whenever I do brushwork all over a bait like this, my eyes start watering. There's just too much to look at. If a tear drops, I can, oh, there we go. I can use it to thin my paint. Needs more, but it's correct. It's looking like fur. The eyes we're using are usually sticky enough to not need glue, but they're protruding a lot, so I'm gonna add glue. That looks pretty realistic. Little pink feet. Beady eyes. It's gonna look great with the tail. I'm gonna wanna fish with this so bad. This is like the first bait I'll wanna pull out this spring, as soon as I hear him doing top water out there. It's weird to hold on to a lure from that angle. It's at this point I always remember, whoops, I didn't sign it.
From behind
look at that.
And you can't do it.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Yeah,
look at that.
And if you tell that to the cops,
look at that.
they're not going to give you any consideration.
Oh, look at that.
How did these go? That's good. Thin, little bit of darkness along the top there. We're gonna use this one. Otherwise it's like an earthworm color with a little bit of pink. I need tweezers or something. That's super hard to push in. There. But I feel like it is the right color. Look at that shade. It's just kind of darker on the top. Still natural color. That's a good mouse tail. Excuse me, vole tail. Let's get some hooks on this and see how it works. I don't have any double hooks to test it with, but we'll just do it with the treble for now. It doesn't sit right. The shank doesn't touch the body, so the magnet still holds the hook right there. It's not going anywhere. It could just be better with a double. That is the most rodent looking bait I've ever made so far for sure. I want to fish with that, but I can't, so let's just test it. Here we go, first time testing. Does it float? Very well. Ooh. Ooh. Dude, look at that. You guys need more of a top-down angle here. Look at this wobble. Ooh, it's tight and fast and snappy. Okay. Stayed on the top too. It waked. This isn't a crank. It is a topwater wake bait. Thanks for watching. On to the next bait.